Hello everyone and welcome to GTA Discussion episode 9, and this is going to be a bit of a rambling video. I do these from time to time where I'll just ramble about a specific topic and there's no real plan to it. So if you don't like those kind of videos from me, you're welcome to click off at any point if you get bored. But hopefully the topic that I have is reasonably interesting and I do want to hear your guys' opinions on it as well. So the footage that you're watching is of a race that happened during the stream where the second episode of the live series that we saw just a couple of days ago, where I was messing about with the Prairie and having a lot of fun with that and basically declaring that the Prairie was the best car in the game. This race happened during that stream, so after the footage that you saw in that video. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link it down in the description and at the end of this video if you want to watch it. But this is kind of continues that idea of me believing that the Prairie is the best car in the game and why that is. So as you saw, you know, there was a massive crash at the start and I was right at the back, but I managed to work my way back up to 12th, and I'm actually in a stock Prairie at this point because I loaded up the race, because, you know, a compact race. I wanted to use my own Prairie just for the fun of it. And because it was, frankly, it was a stream that was just pretty much all about the Prairie, but I realised it was destroyed, so I had to use a stock Prairie instead. Having said that, it was still an entertaining race, and you'll see at certain sections I'm actually able to beat certain people in their fully upgraded cars in my stock Prairie, and you'll see that I'm battling with people as well. I'll overtake people in the corners, then they'll come flying past me down the straights, like you're pretty much seeing here. And then I'm able to get back past them in the corners, and it is quite an interesting race. And even people were pushing me from behind in a Pantor or something like that, I think it was at one point, pushing me behind because they wanted me to do a little bit better than what the stock Prairie otherwise was going to. And that's just the kind of stream that it was, you know. It was one of those fun moments, and the Prairie, there was certainly a Prairie hype, as that the title of that previous video mentioned. So the topic of this video is what makes us like different cars. You know, why do we prefer some cars over others? What is it that gives us that feeling of, oh, I like this car over this one, this is my favourite car in the game, that kind of thing? Well, really, for me, it's all about the experiences that you have with the cars. Now, obviously, looks and performance and how they drive and things like that generally go into how you first choose a car, or even a complete decision about whether you like it or not. That's everybody's different. But beyond that, there's also the experience of what happens with you and the car. Now, I'd always I quite like the Prairie in terms of how it drove, and in terms of reasonably how it looked, in terms of the compacts class anyway. For me, the Prairie was just a nice option to use for races in the compacts class, even though it wasn't on the pace. And that sort of manifested itself in just being my race car for the compacts class. I didn't really have any plans to do anything else with it. It was just my race car for the compacts class because, you know, I'm not really too serious about compacts races, and I just liked the Prairie. But then this stream happened, and as you saw in the episode, the live episode, Prairie Hype, a lot of amazing things happened in that stream in my Prairie. And then there you go, there's someone hitting me in the back to give me a bit of a boost. But a lot of things happened to my Prairie and to me with the Prairie. A lot of funny experiences, a lot of interesting things, and that sort of things like that really do etch a car into your sort of. It's more of a sentimental issue at that point. It's nothing about performance. It's nothing about how it drives. It's just you've had a lot of funny experiences with that car, so it becomes a sentimental object to you. And for me, the Prairie now is one of my favorite cars in the game, just based off the experiences that I've had with it. And this didn't just happen, straight from this stream. One of the most exciting and intense races that I had in the first season of the Multi-Class Endurance Championship was also in a Prairie, and that went right down to the wire. I think there was only sort of 5 laps to go in a long hour-long race, and I managed to get the win because it was just one of those races that was quite intense by the end, and that happened in a prairie. So the prairie always had an appeal to me in terms of how it looked and how it drove and sort of the experiences that I'd had with it. But beyond that, this stream happened, and things like this stream where you get sort of interesting moments and exciting moments with a certain car. It really does bring that car to the fore, and it gives you a sentimental feeling towards it. So what I really want to know from you guys is, do you have any cars that you like and don't really have any reason to like them? So they aren't on the pace in terms of a race. They don't necessarily look the best car in the game. They may not necessarily be the best looking. They might even be completely boring. A Washington, for example, or a Stania in the sedans class. Do you have any cars like that you like them just because of the experiences that you've had in them? It could be a random car that you picked up off the street one time, and because of the experiences that you had with it after that, it became one of your favorite cars. And I want to know what you guys have experienced with that. Or do you just like the cars that look the best, or do you just like the cars that perform the best or drive the best for you? Let me know what you guys think about that, because I would really be interested to know the different cars, because these kind of streams, that whenever I'm streaming, I see all kinds of different cars that I normally wouldn't get, I normally wouldn't pay any attention to, either because I don't really like the looks of it, or I like a lot of other cars better, or it's not that great in terms of performance. But you always see a lot of different people in a free roam lobby with a lot of different cars, and I really, really enjoy that. I really, really enjoy seeing lots of different cars from lots of different people, and the wide variety that you can get from GTA. And really, it's only GTA that gives you that sort of variety. Other games don't allow that. There's one car that's kind of the best, or one car that everybody has, and the fact that you can modify them and have these experiences that aren't necessarily racing experiences as well, just free roam experiences in specific cars, can really give you an amazing experience of the car and the game itself. So I do really like to see that. I do really like to see all sorts of different cars in these streams, and sort of things that you might not normally see. Everybody has a Zentano or a Turismo or something like that. Not many people really like the Prairie or have a Prairie, or the same for any number of different cars that kind of get fallen by the wayside if they're not the quickest in the class in terms of either straight line speed or around a track. Then they kind of get ignored a little bit. And there's a lot of cars in the game. There's over 160 cars in the game. Some people are going to like different things. So yeah, this has been a bit of a rambling commentary. I do apologise for those of you who don't like it when I do one of these, but it's something that I just wanted to explore and discuss a little bit, and I would really be interested to hear your experiences in certain cars down in the comments. Let me know, are there any cars that you really, really, really like in GTA for no apparent reason, or even if they are sort of top end cars in a class, it's the experiences that you've had with them that make them special. And I want to hear what those cars are, first of all, and those experiences that you've had in them to make them such an amazing car. So let me know down in the comments what your favorite car is, or it doesn't necessarily have to be your favorite, but a car that you like just based on the experiences that you've had in it. So as you've seen on the screen, for the last few laps I've been battling with this same person, where he would pass me on the straights and I would be able to pass him in the corners, and that was pretty much the battle for the entire race. I wanted to finish ahead of this guy in his fully modded Rhapsody. He was able to just fly past me on the straights in my stock Prairie, but I was doing so well to be able to keep up with him and pass him in the corners that I really wanted to beat him overall in the race, and I felt that was quite possible. So I think this is the last lap at this point, and you'll see how it all turns out. But even to finish this high up in a stock Prairie, considering the amount of people that are in, that was just another experience that made the Prairie made me favour the Prairie even more in terms of just the experiences that I'd had with it. And to cap it all off, really, the winner of the race, this whole race, was Subaru Wolf, and he actually did it in a Prairie as well. And when I saw that, I went absolutely mad on the stream. You know, I was like, yes, get in, a Prairie's won the race. A fully modded Prairie, of course, so it could keep up with the rest of them. But it's just a wonderful stream, really, where it was definitely Prairie hype was definitely the best way to describe it. And something like that, a stream like that, really made the Prairie one of my favourite cars. Not for looks, not for performance, just based on the experiences that I'd had with it. So let me know your opinions on that down below, and your cars that you quite like for no particular reason. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.